Welcome back to your favorite podcast, But Do You Have a Real Job? With your host, Mario Mitchell.
It's me, Mario.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast, But Do You Have a Real Job? We're here with an awesome artist based out of Las Vegas. He's the guitar player for Davey Suicide and does his own project under the name Niko Gemini. We have Niko Gemini here.
What up?
How's it going, man? How are you doing?
Doing busy, just doing things. We talked about the album. We just dropped the album like last month, and they dropped the third video for this album. It was just, a lot of work, and
Right.
went on tour, making more tour plans. It's going. The wheels are turning.
Yeah, once you're starting to drop those albums and go on tour, you don't really have time to just hang out and chill and not do much. You're always doing something.
Yeah, I don't really like sitting around anyway. I was kind of, trying to build like the lifestyle where I don't have like too much free time,
Right.
just kind of fits my vibe better when I'm always busy,
Yeah,
doing
me
something.
too. Yeah, I have a lot of bad thoughts, and you're just like, you know what? If I just stay distracted doing work that actually helps me out, then I'll just stay as busy as I
Right.
can.
Right. You do want to like sometimes address that, and maybe like meditate or do something like that so you don't go crazy,
Right.
once things stop and you start freaking out and getting anxious, like, oh, I got to do something. But yeah,
Right.
good business is good business, good things to do,
Yeah. So how has the album been going? You just dropped it. It's called Rock Ain't Dead. How's that
Rock
been
ain't
going?
dead. Yeah. We had a talk with Davey, like we always had those talks, like, okay, like we have like stronger songs on the album, and then when it comes to about like how do you name an album, like that wasn't necessarily my choice, because I don't know, I just didn't like this is not my favorite song in the album, and I thought there were stronger songs. But Davey, he's a very like a concept driven person,
Right.
and I think it was really smart on his end. He's like, no, guys, you just trust me on that. I feel like everyone has been always saying, like Manson was saying, like rock is dead, and all the kind of things. Like no one, and everyone gonna have this kind of feeling like rock is dead, because
Yeah.
it like not a lot of people just rap is good, like pop music is always good, but like not a lot of people pay attention to rock music right now. So maybe just kind of putting that out there, just saying, hey, like, no, we're still here, the fans are still there, we're still gonna keep going, we're gonna,
Right.
we got, so yeah, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the idea behind it, just a heavy rock album,
How has the reception been from the fans?
I think everyone loves it. I mean, I personally, like, this is my favorite record to date. We always kind of try to like try new things and work with new people. Um, just kind of like do something different. Like on my end, like I had some more time to dedicate towards like writing the solos and like guitar parts this time.
Yeah.
For I also like grew like musically because I through practice and like performing and stuff. Like I actually had like ideas for this album that I wanted to kind of make it into life.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like it's been a good process. But actually, it's been a long time waiting, for the release, because we kind of did it more professional this time as well. We like planned out, hey, like we're gonna shoot all the videos for the album like prior to the album release, and then we just kind of
Yeah.
release them, like later. So we never done it like this before. Like before, we were just kind of like, oh, okay, this song's cool, let's shoot a video right now. But this time, everyone was like pre-prepared, pre-done, and then we just kind of sat back and just waited. It was a lot of waiting.
Right. I hate that's the word, is just waiting around. Like
It is.
this stuff is so good. I want to fucking get it out there.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask what was your involvement in the songwriting process in this album?
It's usually so mainly there's always been Davey and our keyboard player Needles, who's been writing since the beginning of Davey Suicide. And then when I joined, the guys were kind of warming up to me in the first album that we did together, Made from Fire. And they were okay, like maybe we'll give him like to do something here and there. Like so on this album I got to like actually write a full song, like write my guitar parts on a lot of the songs, like come to the studio when we were retracking everything, add more stuff that I felt like would benefit the songs. Obviously, like all the solos and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's been a lot. It's still like a really shared like collaboration between three of us and our producer Calvin. So, but you know, it's getting more and more. Like I feel like more and more involved with every record.
Right. That's pretty cool. I love the album. I was listening to it last night, really just to get refreshed with it. And
Mhm.
you could definitely tell rock is not dead. I mean, you've got the modern rock sound, but with the solos and those kind of things going on, you got that classic rock sound all mixed in
Right.
with the same thing. And then you've got like the electronic stuff going on in the back. So it's like a
Yeah.
new sound. It sounds really fucking cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can't let go of the solos, because I have been working so hard and getting my chops up, all that kind of stuff, so like
Hmm.
I can just not play them anymore just because people think it's not cool, or something like that. And I feel like it's gonna all of that classic rock, like 80s rock, whatever, 90s stuff, 2000s, like it's gonna come back, at some
Right.
point. We're gonna get that
Yeah.
back.
I'm a solo guy too. I love a good solo. And I think
Cool.
like they just really add that element. I'm not a fan. I like bridges, but I would prefer no lyrics and just a solo in a bridge. In my opinion, that's just me. Uh, but I think that's because I grew up listening to all those rock bands that
Hmm.
did just that. That's what they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Um, Rock ain't dead, man. It's just weird because a lot of people think rock is dead, but when you go to these shows where rock bands are playing, it's packed out.
Yeah, no, it's getting packed, and like I said, like the fans are still there. It's just like I feel like it's a mental thing, because if everyone's gonna keep saying like, "Oh yeah, it's dead, it's done," like it's not good, it's bad,
Right.
like then we're gonna have that, like, or if we focus on like, no, we actually will get out there, we'll go on the road, we'll play the shows, like,
Hmm.
and the people will show up, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
keep cultivating that.
Right. And you don't only keep it rock. I mean, you got some hard rock songs in there with a bunch of solos, but you had a song on there I was listening to last night called I Need You. And I was like,
Mhm.
damn, this song is really toned down. It really gave me a Blink 182 vibe. I don't know why. That's just kind of what it reminded me of. So you don't only have the rock sound, but you got the toned down stuff for those kind of people too.
Yeah, I feel like in general this album is very like all of the Davis album here and there. They had that kind of diversity,
Hmm.
and the contrast. That's kind of how we build our live shows as well, because you don't wanna always go at like 150%, like you wanna make
Right.
these like strong, bring it up stronger. Then at some point, like go a little bit lower, have a bit of acoustic stuff, and yeah, and it's kind of like been a tradition to kind of finish an album with a softer song.
Hmm.
uh and like surprisingly, like I said, that's probably like one of my favorite solos that I did in the song, which I was like,
Yeah.
it's not my favorite style, like that kind of like soft genre, but it's very lyrical, and it just gave me like a lot of space to work as far as writing the solo.
Right.
And yeah, and just came out sick. Like it's like people been one of the responses has been that people just love the solo in that song. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a really cool song. I liked it a lot.
Thank you, I
But
appreciate it.
you really tricked me. I'll say this. I meant to bring this up earlier, but you trolled a lot of people. So I have a follower that really loves you and always tells me to bring you on. And
Right,
she was like, she had hit me up in a DM and said, "Dude, did you see that Davey is or sorry, Nico is gonna be in My Chemical Romance?" I was like,
right,
"What?"
right.
I was like, "Are you for real?" And then I looked at your thing. I was like, "Holy shit, you trolled me so good." Because
Uh,
your guitar work is so good. I was like, "Okay, this sounds believable." I'm just kind of confused on how the fuck this happened. You trolled
right.
everybody. Was I the only person that got trolled, or no?
No, like my dad even like, he like, okay, like got so excited. He like, okay, cool, finally we made it, or something like that. He's like,
Wow.
okay, like out of all the people you should have known. But I was just hanging out with my friends in Seattle, and she had this jacket that she bought, and it was like My Chemical Romance, like official like jacket from the Black Parade and all that kind of stuff that era. So I had to try it on, and we like took some pics, and we just having a good time, and I'm like, I'm just gonna, and I kind of like that kind of jokes here and there sometimes to kind of spice things up. I'll be like, hey, like, let me put this out there and just like get people like all riled up, but it was funny.
It was pretty funny, and it's crazy that they did come back. They're like going. I don't know if they were going on tour or not. Did you go out to that show they played there?
No, I haven't. Like, I mean, I like My Chemical Romance, but not like I'm gonna drive to LA and like the tickets were like sold in like 3 hours or like 2 hours or something like that.
Right. Like if they were coming to my town, I'd probably go. But 3 hours, I'm like, nah. And I have to pay that money. I'm good. You see,
good. Like, I'm happy for them.
What's up? You see, Rage Against the Machine came back. I don't know if you listen to them at all.
I can see like a lot of bands are coming back. Like they took a little break here and there. Like got their stuff figured out and just coming back stronger. So I feel like we're gonna have that some sort of comeback of rock music.
Right. Where do you see rock music going from here at this point? I mean, a lot of shit's been done. You got the classic rock, the new rock, the hard rock, the modern rock. You got lots of rock, but where's it gonna go in the future, do you think?
Dude, that's such a good question. Like I've been thinking about it, and I feel like something's gonna happen. Like I feel like we're about at that time where like I don't know, like before no one had Spotify, right? And now look at it. Like now Spotify is like the staple for you go to listen to the music and all that kind of stuff, right? So now everyone reconstructed, and I feel like everyone's kind of getting bored with everything. Like it's like and rap been around, cool. Like okay, so what's next? So now I feel like people just gonna mash things up. We see artists like Poppy, like just mixing like just metal and like kind of like baby metal style, where you have that pop and then just like sweet girl kind of looking lyrics. So it's just mash up of pretty much everything.
Right.
So I feel like something like that, something extremely weird, like out of this world kind of thing, because that's the only way to make it exciting at this point. Or very raw stuff, really raw punk rock, like just like 3-piece, 2-piece bands that just like dirty and greedy, and you just don't care. You just do it like the way it used to be done. Like no click tracks, just like back to the old school days. That's something like I feel like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that would be better. It seems like the more you start trying to make it new and mix all this other stuff up, it just like kind of dilutes the actual song at that point. And it's just like, what's going on here? That's why I still listen to the 2000s rock, the Killers, all those bands.
Yeah, no, I kind of like I don't know. I try to keep up with the new music and stuff like that, and you'd always get that urge, like, oh, like I want to do something that's that. But truthfully, like I feel like it has to be your thing, like what you really gravitating, like what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what's in your soul, like right. So that's the only way you can make like a genuine kind of connection with someone. I feel like through playing shows.
Yeah, and I think you guys have it going on with Davey Suicide because you obviously have all those sounds, but when you listen to it, it doesn't sound like all those other bands. It's still that Davey Suicide kick and that punch, which is good.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like in general, Davey has a very unique voice. Like if I hear like a band, like I don't think there's this guy or that guy. I'm like I can hear Davey pretty clearly in there, and that's like I feel like it's pretty important for the band when you have like a distinctive sound. Starting with your singer, and then it's just like I said, like everyone's like really talented in the band. Like our keyboard player Needles, he's amazing songwriter. Our producer Charles Masabo, he's like we pretty much did all the records, all my music that I'm doing, like starting with past projects, my solo stuff. Like I just always go to him, he's just amazing songwriter. Just really understands like where the band is going and what we're trying to do. So it's just it's a good chemistry all around. We just have fun, kind of writing new music, and there's the product.
I think it's good to have a good producer that sees the vision and that works with you on multiple things, not like a one-off. Oh, we did a song together once. having a good guy that you can rely on, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely, it's really important because a lot of times you go and people just kind of tell you what to do, like there's different scenarios for all that kind of stuff. But we're pretty lucky that we get to like all have an input, and like I said, it feels like a true collaboration. And in the end,
Yeah.
that's why the album feels so diverse and stuff like that because everyone kind of like pitched in into this.
Right. How complicated does that get? Did you ever listen to a band called Under Oath by chance?
Yeah.
So they had, I don't know how many members, 7 or 8 members, and they
Mm.
always, I don't remember the documentary I was watching, but they were saying something like every single member had to be okay with every single part in the songs before they would sign off on it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that just sounds like too much work. So how does it go in your band with David Suicide? Like, how hard is it to all come together and agree on a certain song or a certain album or whatever?
Well, it's a bit different dynamic. Just because like you see like the bands like Under Oath, they probably after high school and they all just kind of on the same page, like just kind of grew up together or like in the same town or something like that, where they
Right.
kind of grew up like this, and now every opinion matters. Like everyone has to be like okay with us and stuff. Like obviously, like when you join the band, when I joined the band like in 2014, they were kind of already going. They had the sound that they were going for. I just kind of start adding to it, so I didn't get butthurt if some ideas were not taken. Like I would be just okay, cool. So we're just working with this, and then like the more trust being developed, we just kind of like just capitalizing on that. Like just doing more of just adding and like writing together. And yeah, like I said, I just personally, I like I said, I respect everyone's opinion, and I also know that people that we work with, like they've been doing this for a bit longer than I was and
Yeah.
stuff. So like I have that kind of respect, so like I don't always like push like my ideas. Like that's why I kind of like have my own solo things like going on. Like when some of the tracks are not being used and stuff, like I always can release it for my own self and be happy with that.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for your solo stuff coming up?
Well, the way I think about it, like since we just dropped the record and that's like 11 songs, that kind of gives people like a little bit something to do, something to listen to for at least like a few months, and stuff. So I'm trying to space it out, so you don't promote like too many things at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have so many ideas. They just kind of sitting, and just waiting for its moment. When I get bored and I see like okay, like things are slowing down, then I'll start like working on something, like send it out, mix it, release it, film a video for it or something like that.
Yeah, I hate it because you can't always put out all your ideas so quick, but you always got ideas running through your head. Like I was writing a song before I came on here. I'm like, damn it, why can't I just put this out tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah. No, you can space it out, and especially now, like I said, we talked about the Spotify thing and everything. Like everything's kind of like I see a lot of artists, they just release singles, single after single, and they don't care about releasing an album really anymore, because
Yeah.
everyone wants new music like every month, every 2 months, like
hmm
so you can just keep dropping things like every day.
Yeah, and that's one second thing because everybody wants those singles, but the
Yeah.
second you have some diehards, they'll listen to a full album.
hmm
And I haven't put out a full album yet. I want to wait, because I don't want. Yeah, people get bored. I'm like, I can't drop 10 songs off the bat and say here's 10 songs. It's like the amount of people that would make it to song 5 would be little. Like I want to have a whole album that everybody listens to.
Yeah, and the reason why albums works for us is because we go on the road. That's just another piece of merch, that's really legit. It's not like just 3 song EP or 5 song EP. It's like a full album, full length.
hmm
We have 4 of those, so I don't know. That's something that it's really cool for people to get a signature on, because you never
Yeah.
know when it's gonna be. It's always like a good collective item and memory item. Even though like no one really listens to CDs anymore, it's just
hmm
it's such retro thing at this point. But people still buy them, and it's really cool. I feel like it's more for a collection. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much purpose. And like pre-orders and stuff, people like to buy
hmm
bundles, with like when the album's coming out. We're promoting a bunch of stuff right now, like shirts and hoodies, and combined with CDs and posters. And there's my guitar that I used on all the videos and stuff. So a lot of people to kind of like collect things, if they're
Right.
into that.
I'm thinking about doing some cassette tapes. Like you only can buy them on tour. If you come out to the show, you can buy like custom cassette tapes. Those would be sick.
That would be good. You see, like again, like all that kind of retro stuff coming back, like what we grew up on and stuff, like buying cassette. Like I remember that feeling, still like going for like buying the first like cassette tape. That was really cool. You get excited on it, all the kind of things. Like you don't, for some reason, I don't feel like this with CDs. But like actually seeing it rolling, and like you had to like roll it back. It's just very cool.
Yeah, tapes were weird. My first cassette, I don't know what yours was, but my first cassette tape was Backstreet Boys, the Millennium album. I was like, hell yeah, 12. I think it was like $12. What was yours? Do you remember?
NSYNC.
NSYNC. That's hilarious. I was buying Backstreet Boys and you were buying NSYNC. That's hilarious. I think my first CD was some NSYNC CD. I can't remember. I think I was into Good Charlotte by that point, or stuff like that. A Walkman, those fucking things. You'd be driving your bike or riding your bike down the street with it in your hoodie or your pocket, and the thing be skipping. It's like, come on, man, I'm trying to listen to this shit.
And then anti-shock ones came out where it doesn't, but they still skip, or your CDs scratched and it just makes sounds.
Scratched. Oh, I forgot about that. Ugh. They would just like go to a certain part like in a minute and a half, and then it would stop. It's like, what the fuck?
I know.
Spotify changed everything. How is I mean, back in the day with cassettes and CDs and even records, you'd have to go in and buy that in cash.
Yeah.
You couldn't listen to it for free. How has technology and Spotify and all these free music streaming services like changed the way that you guys release your music whenever you do?
Well, I mean, for us, I don't know if it changed much necessarily, just because what I'm seeing, like, okay, so since we talk about this whole single situation and releasing music fast, like you obviously get your money from how many times people listen to your songs. So you see all these modern songs, like rap songs and stuff, they like shorten up to like almost 2 minutes, like sometimes under 2 minutes, just because the more they listen to this track, the more money you potentially making. And that's kind of it affects that genre. Obviously with rock, you can't really go like under 3 minute song, you like a little bit, but like it still has to be a substantial.
You have to be playing it so fast to make it under that.
Yeah, it's fast or just short and just not gonna feel like we still have to squeeze in like the intro, verse, chorus, whatever it is, the structure in there. So I don't know, but Spotify has like really cool like playlist opportunities. If you are able to get your songs on one of those like industrial rock or metal or like new core, wherever those playlists are for like the new music, new like heavy metal music and stuff. Like we got a couple songs in, and it just, you can see like the skip and like your just views and listens, they go up way up, into like 100,000s, 200,000s and all that kind of stuff. So that was pretty good.
That's crazy. I haven't had that happen yet, unfortunately. It's so hard to get on them because there's so many people dropping music all the time.
Yes. Well, we talked about it. Yeah, you kind of gave me some ideas for the solo stuff. It's easier when you have someone working for you, like on the back end of it, that has connections and stuff that can push it forward. I've done it before. But from what I heard, I'm sure you heard, it's possible to just do it on your own. If you have like really good stuff, I'm sure it will be noticed. And
yeah, it's one thing I've noticed is if you're putting out quality content consistently, things will just start going on the up and up. It's that moment when you start putting out bad music or bad videos, or you don't go full all in, you just like put half-ass work into it, and then you just stop doing it. Then it's just like nobody cares. And I think that's why a lot of people don't get picked up on Spotify, because they don't want to just put somebody on there that's just doesn't give a fuck. They want to put serious artists on there that are actually going to keep putting out quality music that people are going to listen to.
Yeah, because those playlists, they kind of like substituting radio stations at this point. So like no one listens to the radio. Like if I'm in the car, I'm just gonna put like a Spotify playlist. Yeah. If I hear like a song that I don't like, like I either just change the playlist or stop listening or skip it, whatever, and they kind of track that kind of stuff. So they want to make sure that people are stay involved and they're entertained and all the kind of things,
Right. And I do the same thing on Spotify. It'll give me like a daily mix of a bunch of randos and I'll just
Yeah,
play it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll skip a song, obviously. But if I like a song
yeah,
enough, I will add it to my playlist that I'm already listening to on a daily. And then
yeah,
and then it goes from there and snowballs into other music. And I found a whole bunch of people on Spotify playlists. And it's
yeah.
weird
No,
because
I
I
love.
never used to think about it. And then I started doing it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm listening to a bunch of new people just off these playlists. I'm like, why am I not on these playlists yet?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's exactly what it is, and yeah, I personally love it. Like I feel like I'm not. I never was against it really. I'm always kind of like, oh, if that's gaining popularity, if people are like really into that Spotify thing, like I'm not gonna be the ones like, no, like let's go back to buying albums. Like why? It's like
right.
regress. Like stay with the progress. Like just learn how to swim in it. Learn how to
Hmm.
make it your own.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to get your music out there. Like all
It
you have to
is.
do is post a link, and they can listen to high quality music right now for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
they're
man.
like, okay, I love this. I'm gonna go see you on tour. Now Spotify's got those features where you can
Dude,
post your tour dates and your merch and a bunch of other stuff like tickets. And
comes into my emails all the time, and I'm never like I always open up. I always see like, oh, who's coming in town. It's pretty dope. I love
yeah,
that. I love that feature the most. Like that they show you the tour dates of the artists when they are in the city next to you. So it's not
right,
just like random, like they're going on tour and it's somewhere like miles away from you. Like no, it's
yeah,
right in your city. This is the
yeah.
dates. Go see the band. You like it.
Exactly. YouTube does that too now, actually, I noticed. And yeah, like you said, they don't put like, oh, they're going on tour. Here's all the dates. They're like, this date right here, he'll be there in
Yeah.
2 weeks and it'll be
Mhm.
1 hour away. Go see that show. And that's great for a touring artist.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, and YouTube is a bit different animal too. Like they kind of, I feel like they fighting with everything. They trying to stay separated, but
Hmm.
yet it's like a whole different scene. Being a YouTuber, like and it's tough to like because you kind of have to like juggle all those platforms at the same time, and like be like post stories on Instagram, post stories. There's stories on YouTube now. Oh my God, there's so much stuff
Right.
to. It's
And I
crazy.
noticed that and it pisses me off because last night I was scrolling through YouTube and I see all these YouTube creators that I watch, their stories. I'm like, fuck, man. Now I gotta start posting YouTube stories because you have to. You literally have to do it.
Yeah.
It's
If that's
fucking
what you want
crazy.
to do, if that's really if you chose that kind of life, so
Yeah, I hate YouTube though. It's not as good for new music as it is for like trending music or big artists. They'll shove the big artists down your throat, but those small artists, you really have to get good music and really get a lot of comments and likes to get them to push
yeah,
your music. Like, come on, man. But Spotify, they'll push anything that anybody's listening to at that moment,
yeah,
which is cool.
yeah,
And they pay you way more than YouTube for music.
yeah. I didn't really get into like the whole numbers and stuff, but I'll just trust you on that one.
Yeah, I don't know exactly on YouTube. I think it's about $1,000 to $4,000 if like you're a big creator for like a million
Mhm.
views. But on Spotify, it's about 4 to 6,000, give or take. Just depending, I guess, on how long they listen to the song or if they had an ad or something. I don't know. But from what I've experienced, you make more money on Spotify and than YouTube, which it is what it is. But and that's one weird thing too about Spotify is how you do get paid a little amount. I'm fine with it though because it's not like I'm getting millions of streams. But I think it would almost be better if like the $10 that people are paying
Mhm.
for their premium count, like maybe $1 goes to Spotify for a cut, and then the rest gets divvied up into the music they're actually listening to. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? So like if they're only listening to like 2 or 3 artists, maybe all that money will go to those 2 and 3 artists.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's really hard. Like, in the end, like, there are people that always say it was better when people would buy a whole album, right? They always like, no, like buy the album. I'm like, no, I don't know, because like, what if they really like the song? So like the
Hmm.
album, they just pay $10 and they can listen to it forever, but it's just $10. And
Right.
with Spotify, like if they keep listening to it, it's been like 10 years. I mean, Tool just put out all their music on Spotify like not so long ago, and they got #1 on everything with the albums that they released like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is incredible. You can
And
still
now they're
make it.
making all that money. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. So it's definitely a more progressive system, and I feel like the artist can actually benefit from it. It just forces you to make better music and make catchier and more
Hmm.
stand out. Stand out more.
Yeah, and you don't have to go through your fucking car and find your CD case and like, where's that CD? I need to find that CD. Oh, my CD player doesn't work. Now I gotta buy a new one. It's like with Spotify, you just play that shit all day on your phone, your Bluetooth, your headphones. It just streams
And
forever.
yeah, it's comfortable. It's
Yeah,
convenience.
really convenient. Because I don't even know if new cars are even coming with CD players. They probably
They
are.
don't,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not. Yeah,
don't, yeah. You don't even have an aux cable anymore either. It's just
just
Bluetooth,
Bluetooth.
man. Yeah, it's just Bluetooth.
Damn.
You don't need anything else. Or like a charger, like a USB phone charger that you can connect your phone to, and that's about it. Yeah,
Wow.
I
I
like
think
like,
I
less
could.
cords is better.
Do you have a new car?
I used to. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
got
You
tired
know.
of paying for it.
Did you have internet in that car or no?
No, it wasn't that great. It wasn't
Mm.
that cool. It didn't have a CD player, and yeah, so it always like just no cords, no nothing.
I
Yeah.
could be wrong. I'm pretty sure the new Teslas have Wi-Fi. Maybe not.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look this up. Just really curious. I'm thinking about it.
I don't
Tesla
see why they,
Wi-Fi.
it's like the last feature. I mean, you're already driving. The car's driving you. Why wouldn't it have Wi-Fi? You got to do something as it drives you.
Right. So it looks like there is some Wi-Fi options. But yeah, it's like we're in 2020. Everybody needs internet all the time.
Yeah.
It's
At this
crazy. And I don't know if you guys have it out there. I know in Kansas City, maybe they have it. I think they've tried it out. There's this new thing called Google Fiber, and it's like the internet that it's like wires or, internet lines that they bury underground and they just bury them all over the city. And there's free Wi-Fi all over. You can just go anywhere and
year.
have free Wi-Fi because it's built into the city, which is crazy.
Well, that's future, man. That has to happen. It's like when the phones came out, like only like 5 people had those huge phones, and
Oh my
it's
God.
expensive. Like one call was like how many dollars, I don't know. And then now everyone has access to the phone, so we can call each other freely and even go on the internet and all the kind of things. So yeah, I feel like it's just a matter of time when the internet is going to be everywhere.
Right. And it's already, I mean, we have social media. You could promote yourself on every single social media platform within a minute, like
Yeah.
SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, just like you were saying earlier, it's so hard to juggle all that. You're like, all right, I got to promote on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook. My Instagram is actually hooked up to my Facebook, so I don't even post on Facebook. I just post on Instagram and everything goes over
Yeah.
there.
Same. Yeah, I do the same with Twitter and all that kind of stuff because I just can't keep up with everything separately. I try to, but it just doesn't work. And I mean, essentially, you just have to know how to work. Those platforms are really different. I feel like if you just reposting things, like you kind of lose a little bit of following or a little bit of interest. Like
Hmm.
because with Twitter, like to me, it was always more about sharing ideas, talking about like something that you think, like something that's on your mind. So that's still kind of what it is to me. It's just short note.
Hmm.
And but we keep up. Now we're throwing like pictures on the Twitter and all the Instagram reposts, and I feel like people just stop caring about that kind of stuff. They don't see the genuine, uh, involvement with that
Right.
platform, and no, that's not cool. So like gotta actually go like and separately make different posts, and
Hmm.
that's how, because it's a different crowd too. Like Facebook, I noticed personally, it's a bit older crowd because I feel like it's been a while, like since the Facebook was around. So now like all the people that were like kind of against it or like a bit older and it was hard for them to grasp that concept. Now they are on there, so you have that older kind of crowd that you can reach out to, and they actually have money and they can,
Mm-hmm.
they can be actually helpful, and they wanted to support you and, buy your music, buy your merch. And then you have like Snapchat that's
Mm-hmm.
like super young. That's all your like 14, 15, even younger, kind of kids, they just kind of following you, because they excited. Instagram is kind of there too in between. So that is the difference. So to me, it's like all different groups, like all different age groups, and um, different kind of demographic that you can work with.
Right. I forgot about Snapchat. Yeah. There's
You-
so many. I like Instagram a lot though. Instagram is my favorite. I've found the best marketing tools on there. The pictures that's what helps. Stories help, but the pictures are really
Yeah,
what's good. It's not like a bunch of words. It's like just a picture with some words
yeah,
under it. And they're like, okay, I see what's
yeah.
happening here.
I
I
try.
like
I
it or
try
don't
to.
like it.
Yeah, I try to read a caption. When someone puts a caption,
Right.
if it's meaningful, like some people like put a very long ones and always try to get like super profound and stuff. So, but yeah, I still try to read what they say. But yeah, picture is that what captures your attention, like in the first place.
Yeah.
I love Instagram too. And with the
Yeah.
stories, that's kind of why I stopped using Snapchat. Is because when the stories came out, like I was just like, well, why am I posting on Snapchat and here? Like it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But like I said,
I
it's
love
different.
Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that Static X tour you just went on. That was dope, right? Or was it sick?
It was amazing. No, it was great. Like one of the best tours we ever done. Just it was about 2 weeks, and like almost every show was sold out. Uh, you get so spoiled on that kind of stuff, because it's very nice to play for a lot, for a good amount of people. And I mean, we're pretty heavy too, so they dig it. It doesn't take them long to really get into the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing, what we're doing. So yeah, it's awesome. The guys were really awesome. Like everyone's really helpful, and yeah, just a good tour. That's kind of like the idea for this year, is to do more tours like that, because we used to do like a lot of tours where we would just go like for a month or two, and it wasn't like the best tour, but we just
Yeah.
did it, to do something, and it's just exhausting, and a lot of the times you just waste more money and energy that you actually get back. So
Mm-hmm.
like the agenda for this year for us, and then next couple of years, like promoting this album, is to actually maybe not tour as much as we used to, but like tour like cool do quality tours, do
Right.
something that where people actually want to show up, and support and all that kind of things.
Yeah, like targeted, very specific. Like we know people are going to show up here for two
Yeah,
weeks. Let's go out here, make it rock, and then go
yeah,
home. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I've been thinking about the same because bands used to tour for even like 3, 4 months on end. And then,
yeah.
some shows would be good, some shows would be dead. Nobody would even be there. And you don't have to do that anymore with the internet, thank God.
You know, you just know your crowd. You know where your best markets are. Just hit those markets. Keep developing. Yeah, just be smart about it. And like I said, everything's fine. Like when we were younger, and just like hungrier, I guess. Like we would go and we just take every opportunity in there, and not like we lost our hunger, but we just became like a bit more wiser.
Hmm.
Like you get more connections here and there. You're just growing. It's just a natural process. You're trying to be uh, more productive with your choices.
Right. Yeah, that's what getting old does. I guess that's why
Yeah.
record labels that they love the younger ones because the older ones they know too much.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're too smart. We can't bring them in here and fuck them around. We got to get those
No, that's
19-year-olds.
yeah, because some of them get taken advantage of. It's easier to just fool them into like signing something that's not really beneficial for them. But they don't care. They just want to be on
Hmm.
the road doing that thing, and that's also fun.
There you are. You lost for a second.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
It's all good. Um, I want to wrap this thing up in a minute, but I want to ask. This whole thing is called "But Do You Have a Real Job?" I'm sure you've had it before. People are like, "Yeah, I know you do music, man, but like, what's your real job?" I get it all the time. Not so much anymore, but I used to get it all the time. Um, what was your first ever real job as like a paying gig?
First ever, I used to. So that was I was about 18, 19. Lived in Russia and worked for the travel agency. I was like salesperson for like basically travel stuff, going outside, like all the kind of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my first thing. And then I was always teaching, and that was kind of my goal, was always to just do music full time. Whatever it is, it just has to be music. And like I'm like just proud to say that that's really all I do, Um, oh, like most of the things that I do, I like to do other things just for the fun, basically, but like my main job is I teach guitar and bass, and and at music school and privately, and yeah, and that's what I do.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
A lot of
anyone
people.
listening, if anyone listening wants to get like a Skype lesson or like guitar bass lesson, there you go. Like I'm
There we
open
go.
for that.
How do people find you on the interwebs
And
if they want
it's
to?
Niko Gemini ever, and ITO Gemini, Facebook, Instagram. You can email me at nikogeminimusic@gmail.com. And all that stuff is in all my bios and everywhere. So it's relatively easy to get a hold
There
of
you
me.
go.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long did it take for you to work like normal 9 to 5, quote unquote 9 to 5 jobs, to becoming a full-time musician that's getting paid for just the music?
It took me about like since I started working, about like 7 to 8 years, I'd say, altogether. Just because a lot of it's a mental thing too, like you just feel like everyone tells you how hard music is, and like first you trying to like, you don't even know if you can make money with it. So you had to like, I used to like, work in the kitchens all the time, like cook and like wash dishes and all the kind of things, plus being from another country, like
Mm-hmm.
not being able to speak the language very well, so that took some time, just kind of being able to speak and talk to people. And then once that all got handled out, like slowly but surely, I just kind of like started doing this more and more and more, and got connected like with more people that do that kind of stuff. And yeah, and then you just at some point, that's all you do.
That's fucking awesome, and definitely congrats on that. Not a lot of people make it; they give up and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my normal job. So it's really awesome that you said, "Fuck this normal job, I'm gonna do music," and you
Yeah.
actually did it. Now you're doing it, which is fucking sick.
Yeah, no, you just gotta have to find a ways, and a lot of times it's a hassle, like
Mm-hmm.
I see you promoting all your merch and stuff all the time. Like sometimes that's what you have to do, you always have to be out there, always promoting, always saying, always doing something new. That kind of what keeps you going to, gives you like to put out new music, put out new stuff, talk to people, be social, so people should not be afraid of it. They should actually embrace it,
Mm-hmm.
to let fire your passion.
I agree. Um, what is a real job in your opinion?
Oh my god, a real job. um I mean, it's a complicated question. I mean, in my opinion, a real job, I didn't even think about that, like I said, like because I just didn't care.
Right.
I feel like it's all about what you want, really. It's how much money do you want to make, like, so I know like a comfortable amount would be like 75 grand a year, maybe 1,000 grand a year, 100,000 grand a year, so if you have a job that brings you that amount of money, I feel like that's comfortable, that's something real, right? um but at the same time, are you happy doing this? Like, are you actually waking up and you're like stoked to be on this planet and live this life as as what you do? So that's another thing. So that then maybe the real job would be something that you actually enjoy. And then it might not be paying that well, but you don't hate yourself, like waking up every morning and like having to do that kind of stuff. It's actually just exactly what you want to do, something that brings you joy. And that's another way to look at it. I would
Yeah.
definitely go for option number two.
Yeah,
Like
me
money
too.
is, yeah, money is good, but your mental health is more important. and your physical health as well. So you want to do something that actually makes you happy, you know?
Yeah, and I agree. I think most people would rather make less money doing something that actually makes them happy than make more money than something that makes them miserable.
Hmm. Yep, I agree with that.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. I want to wrap this thing up. This has been an awesome podcast with Niko Gemini. If you want to find him, look him up, Niko Gemini everywhere. Him and his band, Davey Suicide, have just dropped a new album called, what's it called? Rock Ain't Dead? Is that the actual name?
Yep, that's Rockin' Dead.
Okay. Rock Ain't Dead. Definitely go check that out. What are your plans for the rest of 2020? You said you were going to tour, keep dropping some music. Do you have anything else going on?
Yeah, so I mean there's not much things to do, you know, when you're in a rock band. It's pretty much all you do. You just drop music, drop videos, you go on tour, hang out with people, sell merch, and you know, you go back home and do this all over again. So we just right now in the process, there's a lot of good people working on the back end to make our spring and summer as busy as possible. We have a European tour in plans as well that we can just really like announce, you know, like big time yet. So, but yeah, a lot of things are just keep, you know, building and boiling, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening.
Cool, man. Well, good luck to you. I can't wait to talk to you again. Obviously, I'll follow you. I see all your shit. I see you posting on there on that grind. I appreciate you coming on again.
But do you have a real job?